past is gone and therefore cannot be changed. The present will disappear in a moment, but there will always be a tomorrow to be shaped as you wish.
We stand today at the cusp of great change. Tomorrow will be exciting, challenging, and maybe a little daunting. At Temasek, we embrace Mr. Rajaratnam's challenge to shape tomorrow. Our journey as a generational investor is one that we take with a deep sense of purpose and responsibility. To do well, do right, and do good. As at 31st March 2018, our net portfolio value grew to a record 308 billion Singapore dollars. This is up 33 billion from last year. It is almost 3 times the dot-com peak at the turn of the millennium. Our one-year total shareholder return, or TSR, was just over 12%. Our 10-year TSR was 5% since the peak of 2008, while our 20-year TSR was a steady 7%, annualized from 1998. Our TSR since inception was 15%, annualized over 44 years since 1974. We track our total dollar return above our risk-adjusted cost of capital. This was 14 billion and represents our wealth added for the year. Our portfolio earned us a total dividend income of $9 billion. Our outstanding debt was 12.8 billion, mostly in the form of Temasek bonds. 2/3, or 8.5 billion, is due over the next decade. Our liquid assets were 4 times this debt amount. These include our cash and bank balances, together with our short-term investments. And we ended our last financial year in a net cash position. We continue to shape our portfolio for tomorrow. Last year, we invested 29 billion Singapore dollars and divested 16 billion. A large part of our new investments were in technology, life sciences, agribusiness, non-bank financial services, and consumer. These sectors now make up a quarter of our portfolio, up from just 5% in 2011. The US again accounted for the largest share of our new investments. Europe and China were also active investment destinations. In the US, we invested in companies such as Global Healthcare Exchange and Dow DuPont, a global chemicals and agriculture company. We also increased our stakes in Visa and MasterCard. In Europe, we increased our stakes in Ardian, a fintech payment services company, and AMS, a designer of high-performance sensor systems. In China, we invested in Tencent and Wuxi Nextcode, a genomic data company. Post-March 2018, major investments included Bayer and Ant Financial. Last year, we sold our positions in Dufry and GTT. As at 31st March 2018, Singapore remained our largest country exposure. It made up 27% of our portfolio by underlying assets. China followed closely at 26%. The US is third largest, growing to 13%, with Europe next at 9%. We continue to see advances in technology and changes in consumption patterns. They drive 6 megatrends for a better, smarter, and more connected world. We expect to continue our investments into these trends. Agility, alignment, and accountability are our watchwords as we continue to shape our portfolio for tomorrow. The reputation and character of Temasek as an institution depends on our people, our conduct, and our governance. We actively invest in our people and foster a learning culture. This enables our staff to grow as individuals and as a team. Reskilling and upskilling prepare them for a changing world of new technologies and solutions. Good values need to be reinforced by robust processes. Across our broader portfolio, we organize regular roundtables and forums to share insights and trends. In April 2018, we gathered directors and senior leaders of our major portfolio companies in Singapore to share perspectives on governance and ethics. This forum helps our companies stay on top of the changing regulations that affect how they do business in markets all over the world. In June 2018, our wholly owned subsidiary, Azalea Asset Management, launched the Astria 4 bonds, totaling $500 million. These bonds are backed by cash flows from a well-diversified portfolio of private equity funds. For the first time in Singapore, a retail tranche of 121 million Singapore dollars was offered. More than 25,000 applicants participated in the offer, which was over 7 times subscribed. In 2017, we opened an office in Washington, D.C. This will help us track and understand policy developments which can affect us in the US or globally. This complements our existing US offices in New York and San Francisco. It brings our network to 11 locations around the world. Businesses can thrive when communities also thrive. Our success as a long-term investor and an institution is rooted in the success of our community. We reinvest in our broader community to uplift lives. We aim to build people, communities, and capabilities, and rebuild lives through our endowment gifts. Over the years, we have gifted 18 endowments. They each have specific mandates. They are mostly managed under a family of 6 Temasek foundations. In 2017, we seeded a new endowment for the Stewardship Asia Center. It will focus on promoting stewardship and good governance across Asia. Over the last decade, our foundations and philanthropic organizations have touched over 800,000 lives across Singapore and beyond. In September 2015, Singapore and 192 other members of the United Nations adopted the UN Sustainable Development Goals. The ambition is to achieve the ideals of an ABC world by 2030. An ABC world of active economies with jobs and opportunities, of beautiful societies with equality and inclusion, and of a clean earth with fresh air, clear waters, and a sustainable environment. A better, more sustainable world. In June 2018, we held our 5th Ecosperity Conference in conjunction with the United Nations World Environment Day. The conference aims to turn ideas into impact. This year, we explored new concepts and innovations to advance food, education, and healthcare for a growing global population. We also partnered Unleash, a global innovation lab, to gather 1,000 young talents from 110 countries to co-create solutions to the Sustainable Development Goals. It was one of our nation's founding fathers, Mr. S. Rajaratnam, who said, "There will always be a tomorrow to be shaped as you wish." As we shape tomorrow, we are committed to do well, determined to do right, and inspired to do good. Investing in companies and solutions for a better, smarter, and more connected world. Empowering our people to deliver and make the world a better place. Enabling our community to come together for a better life for us all. To shape a better and more sustainable tomorrow for today's and future generations.